All right, what's going on? Don over at REI Automation, and we had a question from one of the members regarding what happens when you have a team member that is removed. And typically, if you have role positions such as a lead processor or something like that, we've recommended in the past that you have them set up with a Gmail G Suite account, and that you kind of have like a name of lead processor or VA or whatever, and you add them in here. And that way, as they leave, you change the password, you get your new person in there, you put them in with the new password, and they just roll in, and you never had to really remove anybody because you were able to change the password on the email so they couldn't access Podio moving forward. That's been a recommendation for those roles in the past. However, I understand with sales and some other positions that's not necessarily possible or easily able to be done. So what we've done is I've added this user in here as a test item. In an item itself, we've created a leads processor and leads manager role in a team members app. You can see that there. And we've got that person's name and Podio thing assigned to it. I'll show that in a second. And then the team member to receive task, we put on the contact of that person. And then in the back end, you've got your configuration app that controls your task. So here we put that person as well as we put two people on it. And what I'm going to do is I'll click on the item that shows us what the team member looks like. Let's see, go up here. Let me click on this and open a tab so you can see what the team member app looks like for this item. We've just basically created an item with their name on it and the Podio user on it. You should fill in the email and phone as well, definitely the email for the Podio user, but just this will help us test it. So we're going to see what happens when we remove the user and kick them out of the workspace, and then we'll refresh those areas so that you can kind of see exactly what you should expect when you remove a user. Okay, so that user's been removed. What I'm going to do now is refresh the browser and see what happened into this property lead app item where we had that person assigned. So you can see we still have them assigned because it's a relationship field here. They're still assigned to that lead. In the team member to receive task, even though they are no longer a member of the workspace, they are still the person to receive task. So take note of that. I'm going to refresh it one more time just in case it doesn't show up. Okay, so it's still showing that. What does that mean? You're going to want to use a tool like the mass update tool that I showed last week to basically create a filter and filter everything out by this person's name, and you'll want to update it with somebody else on your team. So just note that when you remove somebody, their stuff is still showing that they need to get the task, so someone on your team is not getting the task. But you can easily update that stuff using that tool that I showed last week, and I'll probably put a link as well in the description of this and or the post that I do on Facebook, so you can easily jump over to that and see what I'm talking about. Okay, in the configuration app, if they've been removed as a user as far as task management, they're still there. So you're going to have to remove them as well from there. And then under the team member to receive task, if I refresh that, same thing. So if we just go back out of the team members app, you're going to see that the item is still in the team members app, still there in the configuration app. Even if I go back out of the configuration item and then come back in, it's still there as well. And so what that's telling you is even after you remove that user and you're no longer being charged for that user, because if we go to the main activity screen, they're no longer showing to be a user in this workspace. You're going to have to go back and update the records so that someone else is now assigned to receive those tasks. Let me know if you guys have questions on that. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video kind of explaining how you do the mass update, but that'll probably be next week before we can do that. So just wanted to explain what happens once you remove a user if you've got to take them out of the workspace.